you guys have seen my entire PS4 collection as of a couple of months ago. I think at the time I had 176 PS4 physical games that I went through on camera. If you've not seen that episode, I'll chuck it in the cards. But it really got me thinking, guys, which of these games will I never play again? Like, which for me are between a 5 and a 6.5 out of 10 in my opinion. I've listed some games down, so I want you to watch this entire episode before I'm judged, and I'm pretty certain some of you will agree and there'll definitely be a lot that disagree, particularly with one of them. So we're going to get into that, but before, I just want to ask you guys a quick question. Do you prefer me, like the videos with me standing up like this, or sat down on the couch here in the game room? Please let me know. I'd love it if you guys could just shed a bit of light on that question. Just let me know in the comment section, even if that's your only comment. I would really appreciate it. So which do you prefer, this view or this view? Okay, my first game that I'm never going to play again. It hurts. Man of Medan. So if you're familiar with Until Dawn, that was a phenomenal game that introduced time-based responses. Every story, every kind of choice you made in the story affected the next character and the next sequence, and further down the line, the ending. And I played it through twice and I enjoyed it twice. There was lots of replay value because you never knew which character was going to die or survive. So I went into Man of Medan expecting something of a similar pace, and it was kind of an okay experience. I didn't like it because I paid 25. First off, I didn't think it was value for money. Let me just kind of air that out into the universe. I paid £25 for a 3-hour game, which I don't think was a huge loss in terms of value. But I didn't even, because I thought, well, maybe I can get replay value like I did with Until Dawn. But no, I didn't even want to play through it again. You start off on a little boat, and the same premise is, a bunch of teenagers, all very different personalities and appearances. Lots of scary shit happens. It's not as scary actually as what Until Dawn was. It's nowhere near as eerie. And I didn't like how much time you spent out on the boat to begin with. And I don't want to kind of spoil it for those that haven't played it or are thinking of purchasing Man of Medan. But you spend way too much time on the boat, and then when you finally get to, like, you investigate a submarine. I thought there was lots of scope for things there, but it was a very short scene. And then you kind of, you go into this kind of underwater sunken ship, and things just were really drab and uninspiring, and I didn't like the script. There was not enough humour like there was in Until Dawn, because there was like a couple of characters in Until Dawn that were really cheeky and really quirky, and I liked that. But Man of Medan, it missed the mark, and it's one of those games that I see what the devs are doing. They're releasing different episodes. I think the next episode does look really good, because at the end of the game, you do get a little insight into what's coming next. And you see this sign, and you're like, oh my God, that looks like Silent Hill. And you see kind of like maybe 45-second worth of a teaser of what the next episode's going to be. And that does look good. I prefer the setting, that kind of Silent Hill vibe, much more than the nautical vibes of Man of Medan. I'm not a fan of nautical shit anyway. I just watched Titanic, if that's, or like whoever says, oh, I wish there was a game set on a submarine. You just don't hear it. So it was fun. I didn't like the setting, I didn't like the writing, didn't think there were enough kind of humour to take the edge off. Not enough jump scares and not enough anticipation for me to warrant going back and playing it. That's why I'm kind of like pitching it. It's still like a 6 out of 10 experience. If you can pick this game up for a tenner, you're probably going to get a bit more bang for your buck. But for me, I'll never play it again. And I completed that game on stream, and I like the credits were rolling, and I just felt disappointed. I wanted a little bit more, but hey, that's probably my fault, because I should have done a little bit more research into the game before I went out and bought it full price. But that's my 2 cents on Man of Medan. Next up then is a game that I'll probably say there's no surprises here. I say game very loosely. This is an online game, so that Fallout 76. We've all talked about this to death, and I'm definitely not going to spend as much time on this as what I did on Mount of Medan. But even today, the last time I installed like the update on my PS4, you know, there were all these kind of like, oh yeah, this bug's been fixed, this has been fixed. The game felt clunky still, and I think one of the redeeming features of Fallout 76 is that I do think the world looks pretty darn nice, and I do like some of the AI. There's lots of quirky little characters, and Fallout is famed for its quirkiness, you know, different robots, different towns, different landscapes and terrains, which just look bloody awesome. But comparing something like Fallout 76 to ESO, obviously slightly, you know, it's still Bethesda, but slightly, the dev teams are very different. You know, you play ESO, it looks beautiful, it runs really, really well. They've really fleshed out the world. There is a huge ESO community. And then Fallout 76, I mean, come on. It's a shame, man. It was a huge missed opportunity. And the sad thing is this. I'm going to compare Fallout 76 to No Man's Sky. Both games were not what they were promised at launch, but you just look how No Man's Sky has developed into something phenomenal. You know, even now with the latest No Man's Sky update with mechs, it looks beautiful. We've got the VR functionality with No Man's Sky, and I do believe, my opinion, Sean has redeemed himself. Hello Games have redeemed themselves. I don't think Bethesda have redeemed themselves over the shitstorm that is Fallout 76 and the mere fact that they were charging for DLC. You know, like, and then they had this like little membership. I don't know, was it some kind of subscription thing like I talked about a year ago? You know, $100 for the year. Like, come on, talk about a major cash grab. So, for me, as an experience, I don't like Fallout 76. Do I want to like Fallout 76? Absolutely. Will I play it every now and again? Possibly once a year, but there's going to need to be a huge update for me to want to leap back in to my Vault Dweller suit and pick it up again. And you know, it's even kind of made me think that I don't actually want to play Fallout 4 anymore. I'd love to go back and play through Fallout 3. I've toyed with Obsidian's New Vegas as well, but I'm just not bothered about Fallout 76, and I'm sorry, it's just my opinion. Next up then is a game, again, that came out about four years ago, I want to say. Mass Effect Andromeda. Another game that didn't deliver like Fallout 76 at launch because, and I know, let me just make this clear as a disclaimer, I know there've been a lot of updates that have fixed a lot of what I'm going to talk about. But for me, Mass Effect Andromeda is a game that started off so bad and had such a poor reputation that I don't feel it's recovered, say like the likes of, say, No Man's Sky, which I think is a good game to compare these two because shit start, No Man's Sky's done really well, everything's been free, it's, you know, now on the Xbox we've got VR, whereas, you know, Bethesda haven't redeemed themselves and BioWare haven't redeemed themselves. I mean, not even with like IPs like Anthem. Even Anthem is an absolute mess. It's not on this list. But BioWare, again, there's a missed opportunity coming off the back of the Mass Effect trilogy with likeable characters, both playable and NPCs, hugely inviting and vast galaxies with varying degrees of aesthetics when you land on a certain planet or you go to a certain bar or, you know, you check out various flora and fauna. And then kind of coming into Mass Effect Andromeda, my hopes were really high and I felt that the world was uninspiring, it was boring, the characters were lifeless personality. I mean, there was just nothing there that said, hey, I want to grind the hell out of this game and reap the rewards and gain the trophies. And so much so now that if I'm scared to play Mass Effect Andromeda because even with the updates, I don't want to put this game in and be like, okay, I'm gonna give it a chance. And me to be like, oh, still, you know? And I get, like I said, that it's had the updates. And I know there's people out there, and I've seen posts that people saying, yo, just picked up Mass Effect Andromeda in 2020. Maybe I can give this a go. I respect you, I like you, and I want to hear from you in the comment section. Please tell us why you like it. But it have we seen the end of Mass Effect? Have we seen is Mass Effect done? Is Dragon Age done? I mean, is BioWare done? I mean, I know Anthem's also getting a massive overhaul as well. That's kind of coming a bit more from the ground up, and I'm eager to see what comes of that. You know, if they can kind of revive Anthem like Hello Games have revived No Man's Sky, then hey, I'm happy to kind of give it another chance and go with it and get into it and enjoy it. But as it stands, I'm never going to play Mass Effect Andromeda again. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's still in my collection. For me, I'm kind of like thinking 4, 5, 6 out of 10 tops. None of these games are 0, but they definitely don't branch above a 7.5. Sorry, a 6.5 in my opinion. So I'm sorry to the BioWare fans. Is this a thumbs down from me? All right, I'm kind of reading these and I'm like, oh my God, this is just unbelievable, because this next game was really hyped and also came off the back of a fantastic game. I'm talking about the letdown that was Mafia III, which had a great platform, had great foundations in Mafia 2. I loved Mafia 2. In fact, I'm kind of glancing right, it's in my eye shot right here, Mafia 2 is. You know, the whole kind of Goodfellas vibe of Mafia 2, the gangsters, the cars, the cool cities, you know, the interactive world, the different times and seeing things evolve, and you know, it really was phenomenal. And Mass Effect 3 is, again, it kind of like started really, and it just boom, flat on the ground with some poor writing, some poorly executed characters. I know that there was a lot of issues with the AI upon launch, and you know, the NPCs were responding that were in ways that were kind of just desserts, if that makes sense. So like there was like the police, you'd like, I don't know, shoot something by accident, and you know, the police would be on you like a ton of bricks, and it was just like, wait a minute, there's no build up to that. It's kind of come out of nowhere. And again, no, it's probably been patched since I last played it, and I was freaking day one for that. Like I remember going down to EGX, and the Mafia booth had this, like, it was a theatre, and you went in, you got some Mafia 3 popcorn. The guys actually gave me a t-shirt as well. I've actually worn it here on stream and on video, and you sit in the cinema and you watch this really cool show about Mafia 3. It was really cinematic, really energetic. Didn't show much of a combat system back then, but you know, it really did sell me. It really did get us hyped, and a lot of people in the audience at the time were also incredibly hyped for that. So I kind of look at that, I'm like, this is a prime example of how marketing can be very misleading. You know, building something up so high and then just to be so kind of mediocre and subpar on release. So that for me is Mafia 3. It's underwhelming, writing, character execution, the world. There's so much more opportunity to kind of flesh out the world. It missed the mark. Next up then, and this is the one I think I'm probably going to get roasted on, but it is my opinion. So if you're going to hate me and unsubscribe and thumb this video down because you don't agree with me, I get it. When I thumb videos down, I thumb videos down. I don't think I do. Do I thumb videos down? Do I thumb videos down? I don't thumb videos down if I don't agree with people, because the thought's there, the execution is there. So I'm talking specifically about Doom 2016. Now Eternal is out, I don't want to return to Doom 2016 because it has made me realise how much about Doom 2016 that I didn't like, and I've said it in my unpopular gaming opinions video. I know it's set on Mars, so there's this orange horrific tone, okay? But it's the same tone of orange that I felt there was too much of. They weren't the level design for me wasn't Doom enough, if that makes sense. Like if you go back to the classics, there were so many distinguishable features and so many distinguishable colour palettes that you could feel like you were having a different experience at every level. But Doom 2016 just feels and felt far too monotonous for me to kind of want to keep going back to it. Even now, I did try and stream it before Eternal came out, and I felt the same level of monotony, and it bothered me. It bothered me to my core because I love gaming and I love Doom. And Eternal is much better. It is vibrant. It is dark as well. It's varied. It's faster. And I think on that basis, in fact, I don't think, I know on that basis that I'm not going to return to Doom 2016. So it's in my collection. All these games will stay in my collection as I am a collector of video games as well as a player. But I would like to say this, goodbye to Doom 2016. Okay, I'm kind of serving these as a pair because Watch Dogs and Watch Dogs 2 are two video games I never want to return to. And I think Watch Dogs 2 is slightly better in its UI, in its, again, just kind of like character modeling. I felt anyway. You might not have felt that, but I certainly did. I felt slightly better character modeling. But what I despised about Watch Dogs is just how overcomplicated they made it. I think conceptually it was exciting to be able to kind of hack, and you know, it was very much reminiscent of how, you know, say like countries like China have CCT everywhere and they can face map you and stuff, and it was really kind of good in its concept, but its execution was far too overcomplex, which for me slowed down the pace of the game to a point where I found it boring. It bored the tits off me. So I'm good, man. Watch Dogs Legion at Gamescom, it looked horrific. And it's all well and good saying this is an alpha state, this is an alpha state. If you're going to present a product to an audience, you better make that alpha state look fucking awesome. Because I made a decision sat in that audience, no, I am not going to buy this. It was buggy. The facial animations looked like something from the Xbox 360 and PS3 era. It was, the voices didn't match the character kind of the way they looked, and it was a mess, dude. It was a mess. Legions looked an absolute mess. I just was like, get me out of there. So it's not good. It's not good. I'll never play it again. And you know, if you feel different about Watch Dogs, please let me know. Please let me know in the comment section below, because I don't want you to judge me, just like I'm not going to judge you. But thumbs down, Watch Dogs 1 and 2, not worth it. So there we go. PS4 games in my collection that I'm never going to play again. If you want to see my entire PS4 collection, like I said, I will link it in the card, so just click through and you can watch it, or I'll just link it in the description as well. My name's Gemma, guys. Please hit that subscribe button. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.